How can we find hope through trials? That's the topic that we're going to address today on Flourish-Meant. I'm your host, Tina Yeager. And today I have a wonderful woman of God as my guest. Her name is Gina Fox. She is the founder of the Anchored by the Sword ministry, which came out of her own journey of finding hope in trials. She's also the award-winning Amazon bestseller of Anchored in Freedom. I'm so excited to introduce her to you today. Welcome, Gina.
Thank you, Tina, for having me today. Hi, everybody.
Let's dive right into how we can find hope through trials. It is a time when we'd like to look for hope, but it's not a time where we would expect to find it. Can you talk about how that's even possible?
It is really difficult to find, and I know that as I went through some of my own trials, I find that that's where people can learn how they can find hope. One of the trials that I really went through that really defined a lot of things for me was my infertility journey. That was not a situation at the time where I could see hope because I was getting told that I was never going to be able to have kids. It was a really difficult journey. Like, I'm watching all these other people getting pregnant at the drop of a hat, including my brother and sister-in-law and people at work and things of that nature. And I was just starting to go back to church around the same time. And so, of course, then I'm seeing people in the Bible like Hannah and Sarah getting pregnant in their later years, and Hannah giving her baby over to the Lord. And I'm like, okay, why is that not me? Why am I not going to be able to fulfill the words of be fruitful and multiply? Why? And so I was very angry during that time, extremely angry, to the point where I probably almost got myself fired by being nasty to somebody because I was so hurt and I just didn't want to hear any complaining when somebody else was pregnant. It just really got to me. It took me a while to really accept what was coming. I had the surgery in 14, and the pastor of the church I was going to at the time, he looked at me and he said, "How are you today?" Like, because I went to church the first Mother's Day after I had the surgery, which I probably should have stayed home. But he looked at me and he's like, "No, you say you're fine, but really, how are you?" And I wasn't fine. And I said, "I'm not good. I don't know really why I'm here today." Being seen really started this process of me being able to walk through this healing. Also, being able to be an aunt. Like, that was a huge way of me finding hope because I got to be a mother figure to so many different children. My brother and sister-in-law have 5 boys. So I've gotten to be a part of those boys' lives. Ryan, my oldest, he's 24, and I've been in his life since he was 3. And then Dylan, Cody, Kyle, and Aiden, I've been there their whole lives. And so I've gotten to walk with them through the good, the bad, the ugly. I've gotten to kind of be a place where they can come and they can talk. And yeah, I might not agree with everything. I tell them, I was like, I love you, but I don't like you right now. Like, what you're doing, we need to talk. Also, my best friends have been so gracious to let me be a part of their kids' lives, invite me to volleyball games, have me over, and being able to sit with a 5 and 3-year-old as they're dealing with the fact that their dad was dead, and just walking through all of this. It's been challenging, but also that is where I've found so much hope because God took something, he took a situation that was not what I would have wanted, that was not what my husband and I, that either one of us wanted. We both wanted to have a child. We already had a name picked out for a little girl. And that dream was gone. But he also brought new dreams. He also brought new opportunities. And he turned something, Genesis 50:20 is one of my favorite verses. And it talks about how Joseph's brothers threw him in the well, and then he was accused of assault and all of these things, but then he ended up getting put into a higher place during the time of famine. And he says that you intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people. And I've actually been able to not just discover hope for myself in this infertility trial, but I've also been able to walk through it with other people. My journey did not end with a child with a cute little cap and, cute little pictures at the hospital, but my story did end with and continues with me being able to be a part of so many people's lives that I probably would not have been a part of if I had walked a different path, or if things had turned out differently. It took a long time for me to say that. Now, keep it in mind, I am 11, soon to be 11 years removed from this. So this isn't something that just happened a year ago. And so I've done a lot of healing, a lot of work in this, and also had to work with mental health through that thing of being anxious and depressed. And my depression had gotten so bad because other things were happening that it was the last time I was suicidal. And God really, he kept me down on the bed. It would have been very easy for me to walk over to the drawer, grab the gun, and it would have been over. But he kept me, and I didn't know it at the time, but he kept me on the ground or on the bed screaming and crying and losing it instead of leaving it. And so I've been able to help people in that way too, to understand that you might be at your lowest. You've lost the ability to have children. You've lost your grandmother. This was me at the time. I lost a best friend who walked out on me. I all of a sudden broke a limb. In my final stages of nursing school, not able to work. Things just piled and piled and piled. But God. That's really all I can say is God, he turned it around. I begged him for friends, and he gave me more than what I ever expected. And I just, like I said, I've found so much hope in even the worst trials. And I'm here to tell you that it gets better. It may not seem that way, but as you walk this out and as you bring God into it and ask him to lead you through it, that hope will come. And you will be able to see it in each stage of what happens. It's not going to be an easy stage. It's mountains and valleys, windy roads. It's all of those things, but he's there with you through it, and he will bring something to fruition that you would not even begin to expect.
Your trial may be very different from the trials of those who are listening, but one trial does not negate the other, and it's important that we don't compare those types of trials and say, well, this is a real trial, this is not a real trial, this isn't like mine, therefore you can't speak into it. Can you talk to the audience about how God can meet us in any trial, even if it's not like your trial, or their trial may seem less intense or more intense? It's important not to compare those.
Oh, 100%, because you can't compare your chapter 1 with somebody's chapter 10. We're each in the middle of our own stories. God is writing a beautiful story in each one of us. So each trial is going to be different, but our God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And so no matter what specific trial you are going through, you walk through it with him. You invite him into it. You invite him to take over it. And that's where you'll start to see the hope. Start asking him to show you people, bring people into your life, bring people into your situation that will help guide you and lead you towards that hope. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I will never say anything's easy. You know, some days putting on the pants one leg at a time is a hard day. So I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but just trust. Just trust and lean on the people that he's given you. Lean on his understanding, not your own. Just keep going. That God's got you.
Gina, what is one thing that either helped you or you wish you had there to help you when you were at the lowest point in your trial?
I had my husband. He didn't always know how to handle everything. The one thing I really wish I would have had during that time that I was at my lowest is I really honestly just wish I would have had more support besides just my husband and the people that I was, the pastor of the church I was going to, because he was very supportive. But I wish I had had different people around, different people to speak more life into me, and different people to kind of surround me and hold me up. Because when I was spiraling, I didn't have that. Because I had literally put all of my strength into one friendship, and I had totally abandoned every other one. And so I didn't have somebody to help hold me up. I didn't have somebody to help pretty much drag me during those times. It came later, but it wasn't there at that time. I wish my relationship with God would have been stronger at that point too. It was going to come around to that, but it wasn't there yet. So those are the things I wish I would have had.
Gina, you offer some resources of support for people wherever they are in their journey, whether they're in the lowest point of the trial or they're on their way to try to move forward from it. How can people stay connected with you, get a copy of your book, and access the wonderful resources that you have for support?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much, Tina, for giving me the opportunity. The book, Anchored in Freedom, right now it's available on Amazon and the Kindle. Working to get it elsewhere. And then also you can go to anchoredbythesword.org. And if you sign up for the email list, you get the first chapter of the book for free. And I'm also on Instagram at Anchored by the Sword Podcast. And you can listen to the podcast anywhere you get podcasts. It's called Anchored by the Sword.
I hope that all of you listening have a little bit of light in the midst of your trial so that you can cling to God and reach for the hope that He has for you. And of course, I also hope that you will come back for the next episode of Flourish-Meant.